Hi, I'm Tim Pichote, Certified Financial Planner and President of Focal Point Wealth Management. And today, I want to share a 2-minute clip from a recent presentation I gave on one of the biggest risks retirees face. And I bet if you're like most people, you have not heard of it before. If you care about your retirement and are close to retirement or recently retired, you won't want to miss this.
But one thing I really want to talk about today, and what I want to scream at from the top of a roof and just shake people if I could to understand, is the concept of something called sequence of return risk. And what that is first I'll start off and give this example where this shows person A and person B, and they both have the exact same returns except they're the mirror of one another. So they're just flipped, the inverse. So they average the same, and since they're accumulating funds, they both end up with the same amount of money 10 years later because they're not withdrawing any funds. So there's no sequence of return risk when you are accumulating funds. But however, when you start introducing losses into the equation, so let's say you go down 20%, you have to go back up 25 to get back to even. If you go down 50%, you have to go up 100% to get back to even. Some more people are familiar with this concept, but what they're not as familiar with is, let's say you're withdrawing 4%. So you've got $1 million, you're taking $40,000 a year out to live on. If that's the case, if the market goes down 20%, you've got to go up 42% over the next 3 years to get back to even. So if you go down 50%, you actually have to go up 132% just to get back to even. So a lot of people are not aware of this. And where this really comes into play is before I showed you what was happening when you're accumulating funds. Now this is what happens when you're taking distributions. So you've got two people, they've got the exact same scenario going on. They're both taking $50,000 a year out. They both started with $1 million. Investor A had 3 bad years at the beginning of their retirement, and investor B had 3 bad years 8, 9, 10 years later. And what you can see is investor A actually has $630,000 and investor B had $1.074 million. They both averaged the exact same return. And so a lot of times what you don't see on CNBC, we don't really see anything good on there, but a lot of times, or I call it CNBS, but so a lot of people don't understand that no one can predict what the market's going to look like the day they retire. And so if you retire and then all of a sudden you've got a bad year, if you didn't have an advisor that already proactively planned for that, you're probably in for some bad news, because now this person that has $630,000, they're going to be in a rough spot or go out of money. But now what I want to do is I want to give you a real life example of how this has actually worked in the past. So the source from this is Prudential and the Limber Fact Book. This is someone that started off with $500,000. They were withdrawing 4.05%, 60% stocks, 40% bonds. And what I want to show you is that if the person that started off with $500,000 who retired in April of 1970, after 30 years, had a little over $2.5 million left. The person that retired just 1 year before them had a little over $500,000 left. And the person that retired 4 months before them ran out of money after 29 years. And this is, you see, there's a 16-month window here. And so a lot of times you see all these talking heads say, oh, well, the market averages this, it averages that, but they never talk about sequence of return risk. I actually recently just bought sequenceofreturnrisk.com, and I plan on giving this whole presentation out.
If you would like to see the entire presentation, please head over to sequenceofreturnrisk.com, where you'll not only learn about problems retirees face, but also learn ways to help protect your retirement from these risks. Thank you for watching, and remember, with Focal Point Wealth Management, your future is our focus.